Let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal. Go. Six. It's beautiful. Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on a Labor Day. It may be a Labor Day, but Ross and I are working hard. We're working hard for you if you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app. Thank you so much for dialing us in this morning. If you're watching on YouTube on this Labor Day morning, thank you so much. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like, and also start leaving your comments in the comments section. Follow us on X at Rush Mornings. Like our Facebook page, The Rush with Travis and Ross. And, of course, our Instagram page, The Rush Radio Show. Good morning, Ross Peterson. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, bud. What you know?
You know what? I know I've spent a lot of time in a car. 12-hour drive yesterday. I have a 8.5-hour drive today. So I'm going to get a hemorrhoid. I'm going to get bed sores.
Are you at some sort of shower curtain factory right now? It looks like you're at a shower curtain factory.
These are actually the curtains in my daughter's kitchen. So, okay. I could have had an open window behind me, but I said, you know what? Why not go with a fine geometrical print to add to the ambiance of Water Valley, Mississippi?
It looks like a Dan Flash's curtain. It's got patterns that are just my style.
Tomorrow I will be live from a hotel in Savannah, Georgia. So maybe I'll have more room. Maybe I'll be in a room where I'm waking my wife and my daughter up. I don't know. I'll decide where the best place in Savannah to do a live show will be.
Does Will keep any sort of emergency or joke toilet paper around the house to be able to, whenever you come over, they have some sort of ceremonial red box that they come out and they go, Travis, hey, just so you know, got your emergency TP? Because I would.
No, what they do is they play a joke and they take the TP away and they want me to re-bird bath. So this is
great.
Yeah, matter of fact, I went in there this morning to take a piss, and I look over. I'm like, oh, there is toilet paper. They didn't take it away.
That's even better. They take the toilet paper away, but set a bird bath in there for you. That would be.
Oh man, yes. The memories that I have every time I come back here, they're good, and they make me laugh. They make me smile. Man, it's Labor Day. Are you a big Labor Day guy? Because there's Labor Day parties all over the state. We heard on the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios on Saturday that Madrid was having a big Labor Day celebration. They had a 5K, and the Bush family called in. But and from what I understand, you celebrated Labor Day by being a Shriner.
Well, no. Let's slow down. No. I helped out at the Shriners Parade on Saturday morning over in West Des Moines and enjoyed the hell out of it. I'll tell you that, too. I had no idea. Do you remember? It was weird. Remember how a couple weeks ago we talked about the Shriners? We're like, yeah, we know that they do something like a hospital. It's about all we know. They got funny little cars and hats, and they help with hospitals. That's the extent of what we knew about the Shriners, right? And remember, I said to you, hey, man, a friend of mine, her husband is actually a Shriner, and he's a clown, and he like is a big part of the Shriners. And that was it. And I just we mentioned it and moved on. We were like, yeah, we don't know much about it. We know they exist. And then last Wednesday, I get a phone call from my friend, Jen, girl I grew up with. One of those people I went to kindergarten with this girl, and I still am in contact with her. And she called and she's like, I'm in a bind. Like, what's up? She goes, my son is in charge. My husband is a Shriner, as you know. My son is also a Shriner. He's in charge of the parade this weekend. And our our PA guy backed out. We just need somebody to stand there and say which shrine is coming through at the time. Announce some of the dignitaries, and I'll give you a list of stuff. Can you help me out? Like, yeah, absolutely. It was an hour-long commitment on Saturday morning. I went there and hung out with the guy, and I met some of my dudes from IPTV or from MC22 were there. Some guys that freelance from WHO, so I got to see some of my old media buddies. And then I got to sit there and watch the Shriners come by for like an hour. I saw probably 30 different shrines, maybe 25, something like that, from all over the Midwest, from Denver, Colorado. I think there was even one from maybe there was one as far away as like New Mexico, if I remember. And each shrine, Travis, does that thing that we're familiar with. Like for the Zagazig Shrine here in Des Moines, they've got the little red cars, and they're out, and they got little go-karts and like little carts. Well, they raise money, and then they have children's hospitals. They don't give money to children. They have children's hospitals.
There's a big one up in Minneapolis. You know, the Shrine football game, right? They play the Shrine football game. Back in the day when I was still covering sports for television, the Shriners would put us on an airplane, and we would fly with the football team and go to the Shriners Hospital in Minneapolis. And you see all the good that they do. You're like, wow, this is really cool. It's weird.
It was super,
but it's
dude.
cool.
I loved it. It's interesting. Yeah, I mean, they're wearing their hats. They all got on different colors, and they salute like it's the military. They're having fun. About every fourth or fifth group, there's a Keystone Cop routine that comes through. I mean, it just is. It's at some point you look and go, this is just adults with money having fun.
So let me ask you this, because you sent me a picture of the red cars. Now, those cars that you sent me, they look like three-wheel Volkswagen Bugs, like old.
Yeah.
Now, does each shrine have different cars? Because I know the Tangiers out of Omaha have like these old Model T looking cars.
Dude, well, I didn't. That's funny. I saw the Tangiers, Travis, and I specifically remembered them because they were probably my favorite shrine that came through. They had the coolest little things. They didn't have Model Ts. That wasn't one of the things they had. And I feel like they had the most variety of like vehicles coming through. Dude, there were tiny little F1 cars. It looked like a blast. Every single one of them that came through, I was like, oh, I'd ride that thing. Oh, I'd ride that. Okay, so here's another common one. They looked like, remember when you were a kid, the big wheels that you'd ride?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Everybody remembers a big wheel, right? I won a big wheel race at like a Summerfest when I was a kid. I was a champion. They have these now, Travis. They're built like a big wheel, okay? But imagine being an adult sitting on a big wheel. That's a motorcycle. The back two wheels are attached to a two-cycle engine. And so it's one great big wheel in front of you. You sit down. The guy's grabbing the handlebars, and then they put these slicks on the back wheels so that basically as they gun it, the wheels just sit there and spin. So those guys can do circles in a street. They can just sit there and spin in circles and then go about 60 down the road. It was sweet. I'm telling you, every single contraption that rode past me, I went, cool. I want to ride that thing.
So you've been around. You've been around dirt track racing a good portion of your adult life, and you know the way dirt track racers are. When they go home at night, they spend a lot of time working on their cars. You wonder if Shriners are the same way. Like, hey, we got a parade this weekend. I got to get this thing ready to go.
And here's the other part of it, Travis. These things are because there's never just one. Every time a new car comes by, there's like 9 of them, and they're all uniform. So it wouldn't even just be like, hey, when you get home, make sure you take care of before we go to the parade, we need to get our Harleys together and make sure that they all look exactly the same.
And then they drive in little patterns. They weave in and out. They've got their routines, and they look
like they do their own little Blue Angel routine.
You're like, wow, they almost hit each other right there. How did they miss? How did they miss?
The two guys that can spin in circles are doing it. You know what I mean? They're like doing it so their front tires almost touch as they spin around. And I'm telling you, I walked out of there going, I would do this. my buddies and I would have a lot of fun doing this.
Okay, now what does it take to be a Shriner? I mean, is it like a Mason? I don't know. Are they a secret society like the Freemasons? And they know where the hidden treasure is. And Nicolas Cage comes in and breaks up their party. And how do you get a funny little hat?
Dude, to become a Shriner, you must first become a Master Mason.
I did not know that. Well,
this is like the Green Berets of the Masonic Lodge. Did you know this?
I know because I asked you. So I like that analogy. They're the Navy SEALs. They're the Green Berets. They're special ops when it comes to the Masons.
What? There is a prerequisite to being a Shriner membership. You achieve this by earning 3 degrees of Freemasonry, the Entered Apprentice, Fellow Craft, and the Master Mason degrees, all within a blue lodge. Freemasonry is a fraternity that requires you to ask for membership as they do not recruit. So you can't ask to be in it. They have to ask you to be in it.
So they show up at your house late at night, give the secret knock on the door, they kidnap you, they haze you, and I'm making all this up as we go along, but this is the way I see it in my head. And then the final part of it is they give you a funny little hat.
I just realized I can't be a Shriner.
It's kind of disappointing, isn't it, that you can't be a Shriner? But you know what you can do? You can MC their parade.
That I'm happy to do that. Happy to do that.
That makes you an honorary Shriner.
I didn't even know they were connected.
The stuff we learn on a daily basis.
Here's why I can't become a Freemason. Here's why. I don't keep secrets. I think that traditions are stupid. I think that rituals are culty. And I would not. These are the conversations why I have friends that are Freemasons. I have relatives that are Freemasons. They've never invited me to a meeting. They've never given me the invitation. Why? Why don't they want me in their fraternity? Because they know I'd break the rules. They're like, we don't want him. I've got that Groucho Marx thing about me too. I don't want to be a part of any group that will have me.
I don't want to be a part of any group that will have me. Spoken like a true Ross Peterson. I am a member of the Knights of Columbus. That is a Catholic organization. Now, I'm a first degree, but I haven't been to a meeting since I was initiated because I thought it was a little weird. And like you, Ross, I can't keep my mouth shut.
Yeah.
You know, I have the insurance.
What's the secret part of it?
Oh, yeah.
Wait, you have the insurance. You get better insurance if you do it?
Oh, I got really good life insurance. As a matter of fact, I've got 4 whole life.
I'll fake it. Come on, man.
Well, you need to become Catholic first. So I need you to go through RCIA, and then you just up the ante. I just up the ante a little bit. My kids have whole life policies through Knights of Columbus. I have a term life insurance policy through Knights of Columbus. So does my wife. Got really good insurance. And even though I'm no longer technically an active member of the Knights, I'm still able to pay my bill every month because they like that. They like that I pay on time.
I'm a member of the Cheese of the Month Club at the cheese shop. I think that's about the only. It's the only one.
We want to thank everybody who tuned in to the Black and Gold Rush from the Iowa Lottery Studios on Saturday. We kicked off the college football season with Iowa beating Albany 34-7. We're going to dive into that game a little bit more. But Ross and I kind of went back and forth on this topic as Cyhawk Week gets to start. And we're going to address it because that's what we do. We're not afraid to address certain things that get under our skin a little bit. And we're going to address the old show. Ross said it best, we hosted Sound Off for 10 years. And when we came over to do our own thing, we said, hey, we're going to do our own post-game show. There's enough demand out there. There's enough, we're going to be right after the game, etc. We are proud that we did that show. And Ross said it best, as we've talked about Sound Off for years, is that we're not the hosts of Sound Off, or we were not the host. We were the caretakers of Sound Off. And I think that was eloquently put, Ross. And I'm going to be frank here. I'm going to be blunt. What iHeartRadio and media did to Sound Off this year is an absolute abomination of local radio, meaning that it took an institution, and it ruined it. Nothing against Doug Wagner, nothing against Marvin McNutt, but to take Sound Off and take off local hosts on that show and not have it originate out of Des Moines, be on in Des Moines, when you have people like Lucas Strain who could do it, you have Trent Condon who could do it, you have a number of people in that building who could easily handle that show, and to bastardize it and to cheapen it and to not give the value to people who advertise on that show, it makes me sick to my stomach that an institution like Sound Off is being treated that way at WHO Radio. It really bothers me.
We didn't know any. I mean, it wasn't like I was trying to avoid it. I wasn't certainly seeking it out, but I didn't hear anything, and then didn't know if they were going to do it. People were reaching out to me Saturday morning. I had people reaching out saying, "Hey, are you doing Sound Off tonight?" I was like, well, I'm doing my own version of this thing. I have no idea what's going to happen on the radio. And then once it launched, I got a couple messages that were like, no way. And again, I'm with you. No knock on Doug Wagner and Marvin McNutt. I mean, first of all, Marvin McNutt, that's freaking sweet.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, it's Marvin freaking McNutt, right?
McNutt, right. And I don't know Doug at all. I've never met him. Wouldn't know his voice if you played it for me. I just know that that was the Cedar Rapids thing that they were doing while we were on the air. And WHO Radio in Des Moines, the flagship of the Iowa Hawkeyes broadcasting network for a century, for 50 years, had a program, for 40 years, had a program that ran called Sound Off after the Hawkeye games. It started with Mike Newell and Larry Kotler. It was carried on by Jim Zabel and Ed Podolak for a long time. John Miller did it. Travis and I were lucky enough to be able to sit in those seats. And I really did think, oh, man, you've got a good opportunity here for a new, fresh blood. My thought would have been exactly the two you mentioned there. Lucas, who's a huge Hawkeye fan and a talented young broadcaster. He's excited young guy about Hawkeye football. He'd have been a good guy to have on Sound Off. He could have, and I don't think he is enough of a corporate guy that he'd have played the Zabel role. He'd have been a little bit more like us and critical of the team. I think they missed a big opportunity here, man. But I just was more I'm with you, Travis. When I saw this, or I was like, man, that's not the way that was supposed to end. That's not the way that was supposed to be done. And then somebody reached out and told me that it was when, like, not even really branded as WHO anymore. Not even really like. But, dude, here's the good thing. We kicked off our deal on Saturday night. And in 2 hours, because of our format, because of we don't have to take a 5-minute commercial break every 15 minutes, we were able to take as many calls in 2 hours with Tyler Kluver joining us than we ever did in 3 hours on Sound Off. Ever. We were able to talk to more listeners, get more reaction in 2 hours than we did in 3 over there. So I guess now that I think about it, what I really want to say is thank you.
Yes.
Thank you to everybody involved. Thank you to everybody that listened to us, that followed us over. Thanks to you, Travis, for hopping on and doing this. Thanks to Choice Creative for teaming up. Thanks to the Iowa Lottery and Gary Presnall for sponsoring it and allowing us to do it. And thanks to WHO for dropping the ball. Thanks, because we get to benefit from it, I think. So I was disappointed, man, because that indicative, you said it best, man, indicative of where we're at right now with local media. This is why. Support Iowa everywhere. Support Three Beards Media. Support The Rush. Because this is what local media is now.
It is. And that's what it is. It's more sadness than anything. I mean, one of the first interviews I ever did when I attended Grandview University, it was Grandview College at the time, was I brought Mike Newell and Larry Kotler to Grandview. And, I was just a 20-year-old wannabe broadcaster, sat them down, interviewed them. That was my first taste of Sound Off. My roommate and my co-host at the time, Brett Roberts, who's in Perry, worked Sound Off. Back in those days, Ross, you remember they did like a scoreboard show, so Sound Off had a scoreboard because you didn't have the internet at your fingertips. And he was in charge of doing all the scores. And the number of people who have worked on that show from a host standpoint, from a producer standpoint, it shaped a lot of people. And that was their drive home from Kinnick Stadium. The good news is now, on your drive home, you can find us instantaneously. And we went on less than 30 seconds after the game ended. Less than 30 seconds. And we went for 2 hours and 8 minutes. That's how long the show was. We can go as long as we want. We kind of gauge it on, if the reaction's coming in, we'll keep going. If the reaction starts to deplete, we'll stop. We're going to go a guaranteed 2 hours. But there might be some nights like this weekend for the Cyhawk game, we may end up going 3 hours. We might go 4 hours. Who knows? That's the beauty of it. We're not beholden to a master, should we say?
We do have an official complaint being levied against the show. Nate says, I was disappointed in the Black and Gold Rush. I'm a Purdue fan. Too much Hawk talk for a Black and Gold show. Thanks,
and Purdue
Nate.
probably has the real gold, right?
Yeah, we're black and yellow. Should we call the Black and Yellow Fellows? Is that what we should have called our show?
The Black and Yellow Fellows. Oh, I like that. Too late to change, though. Too late to change.
Yeah, we're good. We're good with what we got. No, that's I appreciate everybody. It made for a lot of fun. That does remind me that we were the custodians of it for a while, and so glad that we're doing it. Been a lot of fun. Saturday was awesome.
It really was. It was a good way to kick off the season. Now, was the game great? Depends. I mean, Iowa won 34-7. But of course, Mark Gronowski is the one that everybody's kind of focused on. And for a debut with as much hype as Mark Gronowski has had, I would say it was a less than flattering debut from a passing standpoint for Mark Gronowski. We know that he's mobile. He's built like a linebacker. He runs like Tim Tebow. He cramped up. He left the game, but from a passing standpoint, Ross, didn't pass the eye test when it came to the arm.
Brutal. The first couple of throws were downright brutal. Not like, bad, boy, we'll get better. No, it was like alarming. If you were watching the game with friends, you looked around the room at each other when he threw a couple of those balls. When he missed that wide open receiver, I don't remember who it was. It's standing in the end zone, and he drops the ball 5 yards in front of him at the goal line.
I was going to say, he didn't miss him. He like threw to the yard marker more than he threw to a receiver.
And a couple of times that was the case where it just didn't look good. Now, again, I know we want to. If you were watching college football on Saturday, you had the perspective of watching Arch Manning kind of do the same thing. He didn't have as bad a throws as Gronowski, but Arch Manning did not have a good game. He had a couple of good balls. He did not have a good game. Didn't look like the world beater, greatest quarterback of all time type of thing. So what? And that's a kid that has played in big games. the hype shouldn't be too much for him. This Mark Gronowski, I mean, he's a senior. He's played in a lot of games also. This is the first time in front of a crowd like that, wearing the black and gold. But next week's going to be strange for him too. If Saturday was a challenge mentally to get over, isn't this Saturday going to be one also? You're going on the road for the very first time in like a true. I know you played, but I don't know. This is going to be different? I think.
I think it's a lot different. I mean, if you had jitters for Albany, and if you had jitters for that game, what are your jitters going to be like for the biggest rivalry in the state, the only rivalry in the state, and nothing against other rivalries, but this is the biggest rivalry in the state in every single sport, and this is the biggest sport at both schools. If you had the jitters for Albany, what are your jitters going to be like for Iowa State?
That's my fear. Didn't see. So we said last week that we wanted to see a few things. We saw most of the stuff we wanted to see. We didn't see them try to throw the ball downfield at all. We didn't see Mark Gronowski settle that fear that this is going to be the same old, same old. Running game looked great. Offensive line looked good. I thought the offensive line looked really good, especially in that running game. Pass protection was decent at times. Gronowski showed that ability to keep plays alive when the pocket did collapse. He was able to get out, keep plays alive, make some plays with his feet. I think the comparisons to Tim Tebow are crazy. Crazy. I heard them doing that on the broadcast. I'm like, do you guys remember? Tim Tebow won multiple Heisman trophies and multiple national titles.
With multiple murderers.
Relax on the Tim Tebow comparisons. He's good. Can we just let Mark Gronowski? He's a senior who's been playing at the FCS level. Let's slow down with comparing him to one of the greatest college quarterbacks of all time. Hey, look, he runs. I remember a white guy that ran too. His name was Tim Tebow. You know who he also reminds me of is Steve Young. He's just like Steve Young. Any other white quarterbacks that can run you want to compare him to? Because other than that, he's not Tim Tebow.
This is the day of NIL, and we saw it with Cade McNamara. We're going to see it with Mark Gronowski. When you make an investment in somebody, people want a return on the investment, and that return comes in high demand from fans and from people like you and me, because we're fans, and we watch that game going, 34-7. That's a good win. They ran the football. Xavier Williams was impressive. They went for 310 yards on the ground. But you still know that the offense goes through the quarterback, and you can't run if you can't throw. Now, you can run against Albany, but you start playing Iowa State, you start playing other Big Ten teams, you're going to have to be multifaceted. And the eye test for week one, it's not indicative of what's going to happen because there's a lot of college football to be played. However, the eye test for week one was not passed. We need another evaluation.
Bus is hitting it on the head. We had Tyler on with us on Saturday during the show. You and I were having this reaction. I said many times, I'm one of those fans, like a lot of fans, that whatever I just saw, my brain says that's what's always going to happen. Mark Gronowski is going to be that quarterback all year long, and the Hawkeyes are going to suck. And they're probably going to win 4 games, and this is going to be an awful fall. Tyler Kluver comes on and says, everybody slow down. Everybody slow down. There's 50 hours of practice between now and next week. There are first game jitters. There is adrenaline. Everybody relax, and let's see what happens in 6 days. That's the right attitude. And the attitude of anybody who's been through those fires, any coach. That's why I love those conversations with Coach Woodley. Because I remember those conversations with his dad when I was doing Grandview games. Grandview'd go out and beat some team, 135-2. You'd be like, holy cow, Coach, you guys are amazing. And he would say, Ross, you're never as good as you think you are. You're also never as bad as you think you are. Ride this stuff in the middle. Let the highs happen. Let the lows happen. You have to maintain a steady head. And you got to keep working for the next week. And that's where you get Tyler Kluver in there, and you saw that. I mean, if you can go back and watch Sound Off or watch Black and Gold Rush for this, when we said to him, man, Gronowski sucked. This is awful. He sucked. There's this calm, like, oh man, you guys don't get it. You guys don't get it. There's a lot. This is why we say from week 1 to week 2, you're going to change the most. You're going to improve the most. They are going to be able to now look back and go, all right, here's the footwork problem. Here's where your hand, da, 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 da. We're going to correct all these little things, and we'll see what happens next week. And we're all going to be on that ride. And let's hope to God as Hawkeye fans that you get a much better performance, because Iowa State is freaking rolling.
Yeah, when it comes to the eye test, the Cyclones definitely passed it, beating South Dakota 55-7. 515-517-2303. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about Iowa State and their impressive win. Also on the show later today at 7:30, Brian Hardin, athletic director at Drake's, going to be joining us. They're getting ready to start a $6 million campaign, Ross, to renovate Drake Stadium. They're celebrating the 100th year of Drake Stadium. They want to preserve it for another 100 years. It's going to need more than $6 million to preserve for another 100 years, but it's a start. And
is Brian just going to wear a T-shirt with the Venmo logo on it so people can just?
He should just come out and have a QR code to scan the code to donate now to preserve Drake Stadium. But I will say this: Drake Stadium's a beaut. It is a good looking stadium.
Honestly, Travis, I wish that, knowing that this is happening, and I don't want to stir up an old hornet's nest here, but my instant reaction to this is, damn it, why didn't the Des Moines Public Schools spend all that money on that MediaCom stadium that's right next to it, on helping to renovate Drake Stadium and make it what it could? Now, I know you need a multi-use facility, you need some of that stuff, but Grandview helped out DMPS over there on the east side with Williams Stadium. Why didn't DMPS come out and say, hey, we're gonna raise a bunch of cash to build a new stadium? We'd throw some.
You mean like, let's partner here? Again, Brian Hardin joins us at 7:30. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza. The patio is open and ready for you, your friends, and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening this summer at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
The heat of summer is here. Have you had your vehicle safety inspected lately? With any service at Willis Chevy, we include a free multi-point inspection along with a video multi-point inspection. Our GM certified technicians will check your fluids, tires, suspension, brakes, and everything else underneath your vehicle. Come see us today for your inspection to make sure your vehicle is ready for that road trip or ready for the kids to go back to school. Schedule online today at willischevy.com.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
In Iowa, we grow corn, but the truth is corn grows Iowa. Corn gives feed for our livestock, food for our families, and clean burning fuel. For your drive home, drive to the game, drive with clean, unleaded 88 and support Iowa's corn farmers. Go to iowacorn.org. Pump it up with unleaded 88. Of course, Iowa Corn sponsoring the Cyhawk Series. It is Cyhawk Week. The Iowa Corn Cyhawk Trophy is up for grabs Saturday in Ames as Iowa takes on Iowa State. Game kicks off at 11 o'clock today. Iowa State opens up a 2.5-point favorite. I was way off. Ross asked me on Saturday during the Black and Gold Rush what I thought the line was going to be. And it's fresh off emotion. I go, Iowa State -6. And you looked at me like, would you stop drinking in the middle of the show? Just stop drinking in the middle of the show.
I thought that was a little high. But 3 it ends up?
2.5. Yeah, 2.5.
You did say, by the way, kickoff was later today. I wish.
Oh, did I say later today? It's at 11 o'clock on Saturday.
Like, kickoff 11 o'clock today. And I was like, he's rolling. Let him go.
I say a lot of dumb things a lot, so don't be surprised if you hear me say more than one or two dumb things on this show.
I think that's just you being excited. I really, when you say it like that, because you were amped, your energy's going, you're just excited about it. Travis, honestly, I don't. History has told me not to necessarily be excited about the way that this is shaking out, but as a Hawkeye fan, I've many times seen this play out, and it doesn't matter, and Hawkeye or Cyclone on both sides of this. We've all been through it. You watch week 1 and the Hawks look great and Iowa State looks awful. And then you show up and Iowa State beats Iowa in Kinnick Stadium. Iowa looks awful. Iowa State looks great. Iowa shows up and beats Iowa State in Jack Trice Stadium. And it has both effects. The team that loses, that thought they were going to win, it crushes your season. Hawks went 10-2, and all we talked about in the Orange Bowl was, damn it, if we would have beat Iowa State. Can you have a great season? Could Iowa State lose to Iowa and still make the college football playoff? Yes. Will this impact the Iowa State fan base if they lose this game? Yeah, it's going to suck because you not only want to win this game, you kind of expect to win this game. You're the higher ranked team. You're at home. We're all expecting this away team winning this thing. It's got to end at some point. Iowa State not only is a top 25 team, the eye test, it's a 10-1. It's 10-1. You have a fantastic quarterback who's on Heisman watch list right now, and the Hawkeyes have a quarterback who can't complete a 15-yard pass. Literally, their longest pass was 13 yards. And when he tried to throw the ball over 13 yards, it looked bad. Missing wide open guys by several feet. Not hitting guys back that behind him in stride, throwing behind a receiver like we saw with Arch Manning. No, we saw him miss receivers by several feet. Throw over the top of wide open guys, throw 5 feet in front, 5 yards in front of guys. So you will look at the eye test and you go, as a Hawkeye fan, you go, shit, it's going to be a butt kicking. We've seen it. There's a weird part of me that looks at this and goes, I'm okay with the way this is shaking out right now. I'm all right with the fact that we're on the other side of this because the team that's on the low side of it on Monday has won this game a lot on Saturday. What do you think?
You mentioned Rocco Becht, and if I'm going off the eye test now, playing Kansas State, which right now we don't know how good Kansas State is. They struggled to a victory over North Dakota over the weekend, but they destroyed South Dakota. Rocco Becht come out and it was 14 of 14 to start the game. He had deep balls. He had short balls. He was able to run the football. The dude was just a machine. And do I think it's going to be a good game? I hope it's a good game. But if I'm going off the eye test right now, again, Iowa just has one under its belt. Iowa State's the better team. I really believe Iowa State is the better team heading into this game. And I don't want to say that Iowa's going to get blown out because that rarely happens, but the possibility is there. Iowa State was just clicking on all cylinders. And when you see a team click on all cylinders, again, it is an inferior opponent. It's an FCS school. I understand that. But man, Ross, man.
It's an inferior opponent. Hawks played Albany.
An inferior opponent.
and didn't dominate. You're right. Rocco Becht, did you watch Iowa State? Did you by chance watch the broadcast?
Yeah.
Right, as soon as it started, I remember who was doing the color came on and said, if I'm making the play call, I go up top right away. Set the tone early. First play action, drop back 40 yards down the field. You're the Hawks. All right, here we go. New quarterback. What are we going to see? All right, there's a check down. Okay, there's a 3-yard out. There's a missed open receiver. Shit.
Iowa State was able to, when Iowa State gets into a rhythm, and it keeps you guessing from are they going to run? Are they going to pass? The RPOs are tremendous. That's where I thought Iowa struggled against Albany. And if you're wondering why we're calling it Albany, you got to go back and watch Black and Gold Rush. But
I don't think it takes anybody time. When you watch the game at all, you know why we're calling it Albany.
Albany. Iowa's offense was just out of sync, Ross. Never got into a rhythm. Used a lot of the play clock. Had to take a timeout before they got a delay of game penalty. It was just out of sync. And maybe that's the difference between game 1 and game 2 for both Iowa State and Iowa, right? Iowa out of sync in game 1. Iowa State was out of sync at times against Kansas State. When they were flowing, you were like, oh, this is dangerous. They were flowing all day long against South Dakota.
Yep, that's what if you're an Iowa State fan going into Saturday, that's exactly what you're hoping to see. A game that was easily in hand. You get to see the backups play, keep everybody healthy, keep the sword sharp for next week against Iowa. Got to be really, really happy with that. Iowa State looks like they're rolling, but again, man, this is what I don't see too many Iowa State fans getting out over their skis either because they've all been through this. We've all had this rug pulled out from underneath us this early on. And so it's hard as a Hawkeye fan. It's hard as a Hawkeye fan to watch that game and go, okay, yeah, we're going to beat that team that we've seen go 2-0. So I'm not doing that either. When Derek from New Sharon calls in, I'm not going to talk crap about the Cyclones this weekend.
I'm not going to talk crap about the Cyclones all year. I mean, this team has major expectations. even if they were to lose to Iowa, their season's not over by any means. You're right; it's going to make you mad. It's going to, if you're an Iowa State fan, you're going to be like, gosh, if you just would have beat Iowa. But the makings are there. This team is dialed in, which makes it so much fun. But you also see the advantage of a 3-year quarterback over a 1-year quarterback, and you can say Mark Gronowski is a vet based on his previous success. You're still playing at this level for the very first time, and that changes a bit. The speed's different, the size is different, everything is different. Man, Taylor Mauser has that offense at Iowa State just clicking. The defense still gave up some run yards, but was able to hold South Dakota out of the end zone after that first quarter score. It has the makings of a good, not good, but great Cy-Hawk game powered by Iowa Corn. I mean, it's so big that Big Noon Saturday is coming to Ames, so you're going to have the Big Noon Saturday crowd. Of course, the college football pregame shows launched this weekend. You had Game Day, which said goodbye to Lee Corso. You had Dave Portnoy in Columbus, and Portnoy is going to be in Ames. I'm sure he'll do some pizza reviews. He should go to Great Plains. If you were to send Dave Portnoy to some pizza, you ever been to Great Plains Pizza up in Ames?
I don't know Ames at all. I couldn't tell you. I mean, I would have no idea. I'll let the Ames folks weigh in.
Great Plains, it's a different, I mean, it's a thick, heavy pizza. It's got that big wheat crust on the end. It's pizza and dessert all in one. And if you like cheese, I mean, lots of cheese, this would be it. It's not Portnoy's style of pizza because it's thick and it's really cheesy. But at the end, Ross, you get to the end, and the crust is like a big old breadstick, and you pour honey on it, and you have like dessert with your pizza. I'm a big Great Plains guy. Been going there since Anjanette was at Iowa State.
Interesting.
Where would you say if he was, flying into Des Moines, say, hey, Dave?
Fongs, I guess.
That's a good one.
I don't like the pizza reviews.
Oh, I do. I find myself flipping through them all the time.
Oh my God.
I know.
How?
I'm like
how? What is I don't understand what's entertaining about him at all. This is how I found out about Dave Portnoy. We were fishing up in Canada. My buddy Chris Kremen. This is probably 7-10 years ago, something like that. And he was like, "Oh my God, these pizza! This guy, this Dave Portnoy, and this Barstool Sports." I'm like, well, I've never heard of any of this stuff. He's like, "Oh, it's hilarious. Watch these." And he played me one. And I remember the very first one I saw. I'm like, this is entertaining. And guys were loving it. They're like, "Oh my God, this is hilarious." I'm like, I don't get it. One bite, everybody knows the rules. And he's continuing to buy. Okay. There's a gimmick here. What's the gimmick?
I don't know why.
I said this. I've said this before. I love what he did for small businesses during the pandemic. I love what he has done for some of these things where he goes in, like the one where in Baltimore that was the veteran-owned one where the guy was going to close his doors. I can't afford the bills, man. And he goes, "Hey, what if somebody really rich is standing in front of you and wants to pay your bills? What do you need? 60 grand? I'm going to get you a check for $60,000 to keep your business alive." My dad was a small business owner. I see that stuff. I go, I love that guy. I love that pizza review. But it was never entertaining to me. I could never catch myself scrolling through them to like watch them over and over. I think Portnoy's an entertaining guy, but I refuse to fall into the polarization thing of picking whether I like or don't like. The pizza reviews aren't for me. Some of the other stuff he does, I do think is really funny.
Yeah, and that's where I'm just a little different. For some reason, I find myself watching them all, and I'm like, and don't get me wrong, there are sometimes like, why am I doing this? But then I keep doing it. It's like one of those sick addictions. You're like, I shouldn't be watching this, but I'm going to. I'm gonna keep watching it.
Skornavakos. Do you know Skornavakos?
No.
Never heard of Skornavakos.
Sounds like a Greek place.
I think Italian. It's a pizza place. Skornavakos. Some people are putting Skornos in the thing. So I live. That's I lived next to when I was growing up. I lived next to Val Vacco, who was one of the Scorno Vaccos, and they owned. These were pizza places. There are pizza places all around town. They used to be all around town. I think now they've still got one down on the south side. That would be one if you wanted to take Portnoy to like a true locally owned. What's Des Moines pizza? I think Scorno Vaccos would probably be the one to take him to. Because, again, Fong's is that's kind of a pizza infusion. You know what I'm saying? Their pizzas are inspired differently. Those would be the two places, Fong's and Scorno Vaccos.
What does this week mean to you? We talked about this briefly on Saturday, but it is Cy-Hawk week. It is so much more than a regular college football game. This is a rivalry game, and I'll repeat what I said on Saturday. I was so lucky to have two schools that have major college football programs that add to the rivalry. I'm not going to say everybody because that's an overreaching statement, but you're going to have some people in houses wearing cardinal and gold or cardinal and yellow. You're going to have some people in the same house wearing black and gold. I'm a house divided. My wife's an Iowa State grad. I'm wearing the Iowa colors. What does this week mean to you?
I mean, Courtney's an Iowa State grad. I talked about this a little bit. She was a trainer for the Iowa State football team. And I'm a lifelong Hawkeye fan, and everybody in my family is a Hawkeye fan. But dude, it just isn't. It's not hate week for me. I would rather take phone calls from listeners because they have a lot more passion about it than I do. You know what I'm saying? I don't hate Iowa State. I don't hate them. It's always been, when I was a kid, it was guys from Pleasant Hill that were playing offensive line for Iowa State. Why am I going to root against them because some kid from Florida is wearing the laundry that I want? Yeah, I want the Hawkeyes to win the game, but I also want the kids from my community to have success and enjoy their time. And I'm certainly not going to root against them because they're wearing a different clothes than I wanted them to. That always seemed dumb to me. It's Iowa State. They're right up the road. You have kids from your community that are playing for that team. And because of what? You decide to root for some kid that will never meet, doesn't know what street you live on. That's always been weird to me. I'm going to hate a team that has guys on it that I know, to root for a team with guys that I've never met, will never meet, but I admire them and put them on pedestals because, damn it, they wear the Tiger Hawk. They were smart enough. They were good enough to be recruited by my guy. Not that TOE. Come on. We don't even say it anymore. We could just call it the toe. Get it? TOE. That's how much we hate them. What if it's kids from your community? They shouldn't have gone to the TOE. It has always seemed so stupid to me.
I think what Murphy has done with RBTV is what I think Cy-Hawk Week is about, right? I mean,
I love it. Yes. Community. Bring it together. Have fun with it. Yeah.
I wonder if Murph would come on with us, like on Friday morning.
Oh, I bet he would. I bet he would if we reached out. I mean, again, this is early for Murph.
It is.
I think Jenny used to listen to us on the regular. Remember when Jenny got mad at us for Ray hitting the bong on the air? She was driving her kids to school one morning. And all of a sudden, let's go to Ray in West Des Moines. Hey, Ray. Hey, boys.
What's going on?
Jenny was like, damn it, I'm driving with my children.
Well, they got to learn somewhere. And trust me.
The kids are like, what was that noise, Mom?
It's a water
Jenny's
bong.
like, let's listen to Star. Let's see, which button's number? I bet Big Ken and Colleen aren't taking bong hits on the air.
No, I doubt that. Of course, the roster baiters college football pick'em pool is now officially underway. The last game to be part of the pool picks for this week is tonight. North Carolina is in action. Ross, I didn't do well in week number 1. I didn't do well at all. This is why I don't like usually participating in pick'em pools. People are going to look down and go, boy, that guy doesn't know crap about college football.
Yeah.
Now,
this is the gambling thing to me is just, it's unreal how often they're so freaking close. And how often you and your buddies can get together and go, hey, we all think that this is going to happen, right? Yeah. Yeah, Vegas is stupid. Vegas is giving away money. Yeah, I mean,
now,
like dude, the Texas Ohio State game's a great example. That over-under got down to like 36. That's a layup. Hell, Arch Manning is going to score 36 points probably in the first half.
14-7, your final score. Guess who our leader is after the first weekend? Again, one more game, but he had a good, because if you pick underdogs, you get a little bit more points for that. So it's on a point system. Guess who our leader is after week 1 or during week 1?
Reverend Knight.
No, I don't even know his name. He's got a screen name. Just the Tip. Just the Tip is leading.
His name's probably Justin.
Just the Tip.
Like it.
He's got 86 points heading into tonight's game. There was some people got it. You know, I mean, if you're going to be on the Roster Vaders pick'em pool, you might as well come up with a screen name that matches it. And Just the Tip is that screen name. Of course, we are going to be talking about Cy-Hawk Week all week long, and you can join us for the Black and Gold Rush on Saturday. After the game, we'll hit the air right around 2:30. That's our guesstimation. We'll be live from the Iowa Lottery Studios. Speaking of the Iowa Lottery, we want you to participate in the weekly Woohoo! That's right. The Iowa Lottery is celebrating 40 years of fun in 2025. And you can have a lot of fun with us because we're going to be giving away an Iowa Lottery prize pack, Ross. And this week, the prize pack includes Scratch, Match, and Win, Jurassic World, and Iowa Blackout Scratch tickets, plus Mega Millions free play coupons. It's a prize pack valued at $90.
I love it every time you say this because it really is more than that. We all know this. We all know that scratch tickets, there's something about that hope. There's something about that 10 seconds of scratching and going, wait a minute. What if I made $25,000 scratching this thing? It doesn't happen, and you go, oh, that was kind of fun.
And speaking of the Iowa Lottery, you're going to want to get a Powerball ticket. It's like $1.1 million or $1 billion right now. $1.1 billion. Billion. So go ahead and get yourself a scratch-off ticket, Jurassic World or the Iowa Blackout. And if you don't win, you can always enter that ticket by becoming a VIP, going to iowalottery.com/VIP and resubmit your losing ticket for your chance to win up to $100,000 in prizes, a Hawaii trip, and tickets to football games and more. Again, thanks to the Iowa Lottery. I was going to take a break right here, but we're getting a call, and I was going to actually bring this up in hour number 2, but now may seem like a pretty good time to bring it in. Tony, welcome to the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. What's up?
Hey, boys. Going by bus these days since another Tony showed up about a month ago. But anyway, loved the Black and Gold Rush the other night. Really enjoyed listening in and appreciate the show a lot and love you guys. Just wanted to make mention, I saw that Ben McCullum was working the student section going up and down the aisles Saturday. What a change in approach to getting people involved and stuff, and just thought that was awesome. And I know he's out there beating the bushes to get people to come to the game, so I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it, Ross, but I'm like, this guy gets it, right? And I don't think he quite did this at Drake. I thought he had a different personality. Once he got that Iowa job, his personality, you could feel like he was at home. you could tell that influence that Bruce Pearl had when he was a little camper, that he was a Hawkeye through and through. And the fact that you would take your time, go through the student section and greet students says, please come to Carver Hawkeye. Please come support us. Make Carver Hawkeye a home court advantage. Brilliant move by Ben McCullum. 100% agree with you, Bus.
Yeah, I just hope, it's generated interest on my part, but being in Webster City, it makes it tough to make weekday games for sure. But we've been thinking about it as far as getting tickets. But man, when you add ticket prices to the seat contributions and everything else, it gets tough. I hope the university can make things work for folks, because it's definitely a financial decision. But love what Coach McCollum's doing. Got to give kudos to the Iowa State football team and program, Jamie Pollard and their coaching staff. Really, so much of what Matt Campbell does reminds me of Kirk Ferentz. There certainly are differences, but man, that's a program that certainly has a lot of similarities as too. And so hoping for a good game this week as a Hawk fan, but man, they look great.
Thanks, Bus. Appreciate it, man.
Have a great day, guys. Really appreciate the opportunity to call in.
Thank you.
Be well.
Thanks, Bus. All right.
Go ahead.
Remind me real quickly. Remember when we had a conversation with Bill Fennelly? Said, hey, Coach Fennelly, how did you do this? When you took over this program, 1,000 people were showing up. You scratched the top 25, and you're like, there's been this build behind Iowa State women's basketball for a long time. Long before the Caitlin Clark phenomena, Iowa State women's basketball had a little bit of a culture happening, a little bit of a cult following there. How did you do that, Coach? Remember what he told us?
One fan at a time.
The first game, I thanked every fan that was there. And I told the people, hey, these 1,000 people or 500 that are here at this scrimmage thing, we got to keep them coming back. That's what I saw when I watched that Saturday. I was like, there's Coach Fennelly. There's Coach Fennelly out there thanking people one at a time, inviting people to come out. Please be a part of what we're trying to do here. You could be a part of this really cool thing. And then in 20 years, when it's really cool and people are clamoring to get in the door, you get to say you were here. You're one of the first 500. That's the chance that Ben McCullum is looking at right now. And I looked at that and I went, there's Coach Fennelly walking around thanking everybody. Good.
And
what a change.
It creates a connection. It creates like, hey, I met that guy. I want to go support that guy. And that's how you I mean, we'll talk about Taylor Swift in hour 2. That's how Taylor Swift built her fan base. She connected. And when I saw Ben McCullum doing it, I'm like,
did you say we're going to talk about Taylor Swift in hour 2?
We are, just briefly.
She got engaged. What is that? What else do we have to do? Is there other stuff? Seriously?
Yes, seriously. I just love pissing Ross off. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
You've got enough on your plate, so when it's time to reset, grab a Fresca. Bold citrus, zero sugar, zero caffeine. Just clean, crisp refreshment that never goes out of style, whether it's post-work, post-gym, or just a break from the noise. Fresca's got your back. Pick up a Fresca at your local retailer today.
Your house wasn't built for bats, birds, or raccoons, but try telling them that. At Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions, we've been helping Iowans take back their homes for over 20 years. We use cost-effective, eco-friendly methods to solve wildlife and pest problems the right way. Whether it's bats in your attic, birds in the vent, raccoons in your chimney, or moles in your yard, we have long-term solutions. Call Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions today at 515-218-3400, and let's make sure your home doesn't become their home.
At Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, we know that the only way to do business is the fair way. That means honest quotes, no surprises, and work that speaks for itself. From the first sketch to the final sweep, we keep you in the loop because communication builds trust, and trust builds beautiful spaces. Midwest Landscapes and Hardscapes, fair, skilled, thorough. Just the way it should be.
Cars basically do three things. They go, they stop, and they turn. If any of those aren't working right, bring your Infinity into Willis Infinity and you'll get $50 off per axle brakes to help it stop, and you'll get $25 off an alignment to help it turn. Then you can go with peace of mind. Give us a call or visit us online at willisinfinity.com to schedule your appointment today.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with Unleaded 88.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Thank you so much on this Labor Day for taking the time to tune in and join us this morning. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com, on the Rush Radio Android app or the TuneIn app, thank you so much for finding us. If you're just waking up because, damn it, this was your day to sleep in, and you're watching us sitting in the comfort of your bed, going, let's turn on the Rush. They're on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and of course, start leaving your comments. You can follow us on our social media channels, X, Facebook, and Instagram. I'm Travis Justice. He is Ross Peterson. And Ross, of course, the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. Today is September 1st, but we want you to mark on your calendar September 16th. That is when people are going to be gathering at Willis Automotive for their reveal of the new car showcase, should we call it. It is going to be you got live music, you got stadium-themed food. I think you and I are going to be there. You're going to be doing the show, I believe, that morning from Willis Automotive.
That's the plan. Yeah. Going to do the show from Willis that morning. And then we still don't exactly know what that afternoon is going to look like, but I have it on my calendar to at least be there. If you can be here, we'll probably do some sort of live shot from there, I'm assuming, or, record some stuff. I don't know. We're going to have some fun. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. I've never done anything like this with a new car show. And dude, you were in that showroom with me. Those Cadillacs are electric. And I don't mean that they're electric cars. I mean, they carry a vibe. You get around them and they radiate. You go, oh, these are sweet.
And I don't want to scare people off about the Cadillacs because, that's a luxury car. They have cars for everybody. Every price range. And that's what I love about the good folks at Willis. So, again, September 16th, 4:45, I believe, to 7. And it's going to be a good time as they just kind of get to show off the new selections of the 2026s. Let's be honest, there's nothing better than looking at a new car, sitting in a new car, and, of course, smelling a new car. Everybody loves that new car smell. This weekend, we saw Alabama get beat by Florida State, Ross. And Kalen DeBoer, fair or not fair, is under a lot of pressure at Alabama. You had Stephen A. Smith saying, folks, The dominance is over. The intimidation factor of Alabama is over. You have a lot of people saying, is this really the right fit at Alabama? This is the danger of replacing a legacy. It's the danger of replacing a God-like figure. The truth is, it's going to happen at Iowa and Iowa State sometime. Whoever replaces Kirk Ferentz is going to have a very high bar to live up to. Whoever replaces Matt Campbell is going to have a very high bar to live up to. Replacing Nick Saban reminds me a lot when Frank Solich replaced Tom Osborne at Nebraska. No matter, the guy played for a national championship in 2001, probably had the best team in the country in 1999. At the end of it, they were like, hey, don't let the door hit you on the way in the ass on the way out. It's not like Alabama's a bad team, but you have a fan base that's been spoiled, been very, very spoiled.
Expectation, man. The expectation is raised. The expectation is perfection. The expectation is 12-0 and a national title that follows that 12-0 perfect season. Dude, you're nailing it. Like the real problem here is you're replacing a guy that was one of the greatest, if not the greatest, to ever be a college football coach. And he played during a time when the system was rigged and they knew it. So you're playing on an unlevel playing. You can't win, Kalen DeBoer. You can't do it. There's no way you can do what Bama did because they don't. The game changed. The game changed. This is why Nick Saban screamed to Congress, please don't change the rules. Alabama won't be able to dominate the way that they did. And so you're in a tough position here, dude. Because the expectations are unmeetable.
That's a good way to put it. Unmeetable.
They are. The expectations are you can't. The only way this ends is with Kalen DeBoer getting fired, or 9 straight national titles. So guess which one happens? Now, I don't know if it's this season or if it's 5 seasons from now. The expectations have to change. A lot like Nebraska. A lot like what happened at Nebraska. You're going to have to go through a 10, 15-year period of Alabama fans going, what the hell is wrong? Why aren't we the best team ever? And 15 years from now, they'll look back on it and go, oh, we just had the right people in the right system, and we should have enjoyed it. We should have enjoyed it and appreciated it, and then hoped that our new guy could. But you don't. Cub fans, Chiefs fans, Red Sox fans, 100 years of losing. Win once, now we're going to win forever. We better win forever. What just happened better keep happening forever.
And it didn't happen for USC. It didn't happen for Nebraska. You look at the Oklahomas, the Miamis, the dominant teams. There are cycles in this. You don't get to maintain dominance for a long period of time. That's not the way it works. Just not.
Dusty brings up Iowa wrestling. You want to bring it home? Want to know what that feels like for Alabama fans and Nebraska fans? Are you an Iowa wrestling fan? I know exactly how they feel. Because every March I go, all right, Hawkeyes are going to be what? I thought we were Iowa wrestling. Yeah, you are. And they're Penn State. I thought we were Alabama football. You are. You're real good. But we want to be great. Cute.
The Iowa wrestling analogy is a really, really good one.
If you want to know how it feels, think of it that way. Dominant, expect to be dominant. One of the best programs in the world. The flagship program of the sport. The flagship coach of the sport. The greatest of all time. And you bring in a guy that's supposed to carry that on. Right? Did we not get the right guy? The game changed. That's what happened. The game changed. Some guy showed up, knew the playbook, and ran it better than you.
And it's not like, I know they look at Florida State and go, this team had a losing record last year. Well, look what Mike Norvell did. He went and got Castellanos in the transfer portal. He hired Tony White as the defensive coordinator, got Gus Malzahn as the offensive coordinator. He used the transfer portal, much like other teams do, to create a team that can compete right away.
Yeah. The Gus Malzahn thing, I forgot about it. I was listening to a broadcast and they talked about that. They're like, yeah, don't forget it brought in Gus Malzahn. I was like, ooh, that's an offensive mind. Gus Malzahn, was he at Auburn?
He was at Auburn, then he went to Central Florida.
Yeah.
Mitch
Mustaine, dude. Didn't he bring in Mitch Mustaine?
He brought in Mitch Mustaine when he was the offensive coordinator at Arkansas.
Yeah. Oh, that's what it was. Yeah.
And then I think he was 1 year at Arkansas State, which is in Jonesboro, and then went to Auburn.
I love how all this stuff's in your brain, dude.
Well, I drove through Jonesboro yesterday, and I'm like, Iowa State has to play at Arkansas State in, a couple weeks, and I'm like, I wonder what they're going to think of Jonesboro, Arkansas, because it's just this town in the middle of nowhere, Arkansas, and they're going to be like, where are we? Why are we playing in Jonesboro, Arkansas? It's the return game from a couple years ago. Arkansas State played at Ames. Yeah. And Anjanette goes, this would be an easy drive for a lot of Iowa State fans. And it would be. I mean, I got to Jonesboro in 10 hours yesterday, which isn't a bad drive. Be a little shorter from Des Moines, I believe. But that's where Arkansas State is. But yeah, the fact that I remember that he brought in Mitch Mustaine to Arkansas, then went to Arkansas State. I used to know every Baylor coach, and I don't remember them all anymore. My memory bank has started to disappear. But there was a time I could reel off like every Baylor coach because Baylor used to be really bad.
Remember, there was a documentary called "The Identity Theft of Mitch Mustaine." And it's a documentary about Mitch Mustaine's career, his recruitment, following Gus Malzahn. That's weird what stays in our brain.
It really is. Kalen DeBoer has a lot of expectations at Alabama. And right now, even though he was like one game from the playoff last year and loses a season opener to Florida State not living up to him, another player that was hyped a lot was Arch Manning. And Arch Manning was front and center this weekend as Ohio State took on Texas, number 1 versus number 2. And Arch Manning was human. He was human. There was a great AI meme going around yesterday, Ross. I don't know if you saw it. And again, I laugh at this stuff. I don't take this stuff seriously, but I do like good comedy. And so they had a play from Arch Manning. And then they took a clip from Eli and Peyton doing the Manning cast, and they both throw their hands over the head, and it's a fake voice of Peyton going, "See, I told you he was adopted."
I think I want to. I know you want to talk about Caitlin a little bit, and I told you very early on when Caitlin was hurt, hey, if she's really, really hurt, they're not going to tell us, right? I'm going to give you a little Rostradamus thing here. We are nibbling on this turning really bad for Arch Manning, okay? Because when you have a game that's playing and the guy that is supposed to be the superstar is not playing like a superstar, is making some bad throws, is making some bad decisions, and then you go to commercial break and it's him and his dad pitching products to you, that's when we're getting out over our skis. And that's when society will look at it and go, nope, we're not going to play this game anymore. You don't get to sell stuff to us unless you're good. Caitlin Clark. They can only sell stuff to you if she's good.
Now,
Arch Manning.
I don't fault Arch Manning for doing an NIL deal to where he's doing.
Why? I want to be clear. I'm not faulting them. But there's a rhythm to this. There's a method to it. There's a playbook that has to happen. There's a recipe. And one of the key recipes is quality performance. Quality performance on the field. You got to be better than everybody else to then come on and go, hey, everybody, you want to wear my sunglasses? Hey, everybody, check out my logo. Hey, everybody, you want to buy more of my basketballs? You're going to buy more of my T-shirts? You're going to buy more of my hats? Please, 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 please. You got to be good. Not good. Because everybody's got a brand now. You got to be great. Was Arch Manning great on Saturday? No. He had a couple really nice throws. He had a couple of balls that you're like, there it is. And then he's throwing behind guys on key third downs when they're wide open in the flat. He's missing receivers. He's throwing into double coverage. There's a couple things there where you go, oh, he's just a quarterback. And then they go to break, and here's him and his dad walking across the field pitching their stuff to you. I'm not saying it's bad now. What I'm saying is I saw a crack in the rock yesterday or Saturday. I'm watching that game. The performance isn't there, but boy, the marketing is. Well, got to have gas in the engine. They got the car all built. You got to put gas in the engine, and the gas that's going to make the car go is really good. Again, not really good. Great performances. The same exact philosophy is happening with Caitlin Clark. It's just that she's got a lot more gas in that tank. She had all those performances. Yes, she got a lot more gas in the tank to push that car down the road before you put more gas in the tank. But eventually it runs out of gas. And Arch Manning on Saturday, they fired up the engine and it sputtered. It did not take off like a top fuel dragster. Nope, it fired up like an old 78 Pinto. And if you didn't look around on Saturday and go, whoa, that ain't the dude I thought we were going to see. You didn't watch the same game. Does that mean that it's going to be bad? No. Can he go out on Saturday and play against these non-conference teams and throw for 1,000 yards and be the Heisman hopeful in 3 weeks? Yeah. Yeah, he can. And then do those sunglass ads make sense? And then are people buying the life insurance? And yep. Then it's an industry just like Caitlin Clark.
But let's not forget, some of this isn't. Well, the play on the field is Arch Manning's fault. However, for a guy that really hasn't played that much football, the hype has been built on what was perceived potential. I mean, and that is people going, "Oh my God, he's amazing. He can do this. He can do this." Through no fault of his own. I want Arch Manning to succeed because I fall for the gimmicky stuff, and that is he didn't transfer. He laid pretty low for 2 years. His family really hasn't been that. Low for what I mean.
Let's slow down. He didn't transfer because they're paying the largest amount of money.
I get that, but I still think there are people. Nico Imalavala was getting paid a lot of money and still transferred because he wanted more money, right? And his debut, and I think a lot of people want to play right away. So the money wasn't depending on playing right away. With a lot of guys, it's like, well, if you're going to pay me, you're going to play me. So
it's a totally different situation. And I want to be clear here that I am also rooting for Arch Manning. I really do like the Mannings. I've always loved Eli. I'm a little brother. That was in my big brother's shadow his whole life. I love Eli Manning. And Peyton, I don't know how you couldn't like Peyton. He's got such a fun personality. Dude, whenever I think of Peyton Manning, I think of that Saturday Night Live skit for the United Way, where he's thumping those kids with like 70-mile-an-hour passes.
That might be one of the top 5 SNL skits of all time.
Oh, I would agree with that. That'd be a fun conversation. Favorite SNL skits. I love him, and I'm hoping that he does well. Brian is saying he looked like a kid playing in the horseshoe for the first time against a top team in the college football. You're right. You're absolutely right. And give this kid time. He is going to be great. I completely agree with that. What I'm telling you is, and by the way, on Saturday, there were some bad passes. He was not fantastic on Saturday. I think he's going to be fine because everybody else in the world thinks he's going to be fine. But you've got to perform if you're going to go to commercial break and you're the face on the commercials with 100%. Your dad. People don't know.
515-517-2303. Let's go to the phones. That's where Derek from New Sharon is. Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
How are we doing on this glorious day? I'm getting paid to talk to the two legends right now. Can you believe that?
You're getting paid.
Man,
it's a day off. You're not running that company today, right?
No, but I'm getting paid to sit here and talk to you.
Because it's a paid holiday.
Like it.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Your clones look good. Your clones look good, Derek.
We got 47 tight ends to throw to, and they're all catching. Hey, I do have to make a formal apology to all the radio pundits that said Iowa's finally got their quarterback. They were right. They found the same one they've had for the last 10 years, a loser. Boy, you bring that crap to Ames, you ain't going to be able to run 300 yards. You better pass for more than 40. Rocco had more than that on the first pass of the game.
That's true, but that's actually a funny, true stat. Was Rocco Beck's first pass for more yards? Was Rocco Beck's first pass for more yards than Gronowski threw for in the game?
I believe it was. I think it was.
Yes. It was like 60-some.
That's a funny stat right there. I'm sorry. As an Iowa fan, you've got to be able to laugh at that. Rocco Beck threw for more yards in the opening pass than Mark Gronowski did in his first game.
I don't see us losing this one on a serious note.
Be careful.
I don't know.
Be careful.
We're looking pretty good. But the other thing, I didn't watch the whole Iowa game, but if Albany's receivers and tight ends could catch the ball, that was a whole different thing. You never got no pressure on him. Anyway, you're going to do something a lot different.
There were some holes. There's no doubt about it. But I wouldn't give Iowa State's rush defense all the credence in the world. They still give up some runs, and they did even against South Dakota. They gave up some runs.
Yeah, I know. We don't have. I don't like that 3-man front, but we're a little light on the defensive line people, so we don't have much choice to run 3-man front. But I think we'll be all right.
All right, buddy. I'm sure we'll hear from you more during the week.
Probably. Hey, I got one other thing. I got some intel from my boy Teddy Canny that some guy called in when we were talking about that lotto contest and said I was so stupid I couldn't be on the YouTube chat. Hey, D-Bag, I got a company to run. I ain't sitting in my mom's basement on a computer or your phone.
Damn. Thanks, Derek.
Hey, you guys have a good rest of your week.
No, Derek.
Derek reminds me of that old bit from In Living Color. Homie, don't play that. Derek is like Homie the Clown. I bet that's not the first time he's been referred to as Homie the Clown.
515-517-2303. When we come back, Brian Hardin, Athletic Director at Drake, scheduled to join us to get ready to launch a campaign to raise $6 million to help renovate Drake Stadium. We'll talk with Brian. And, they got a nice win over the weekend to kick the Joe Woodley era off at Drake. So we can talk about that as well on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Hi, I'm Josh Romick, Service Manager at Willis Lexus, and I want to take a moment to share our smoking hot deals we got going on for the month of August. Right now we got a 20% discount on brake pads and rotors, and also a 50% discount on alignments with the purchase of 4 new tires. That's a $90 value. And don't forget to ask about our Lexus Tire Price Match Guarantee. Give us a call to schedule or visit us online at willislexus.com. Thank you for watching and stay cool.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Every business has priorities, and Priority One Heating and Cooling is no different. As a service provider, we prioritize quality air conditioners and furnaces that will keep your home at your comfort level year-round. As a small business, we prioritize doing things the right way and treating people fairly. As a truly local business, we prioritize our community. As a veteran-owned business, we prioritize duty and commitment. For big business service with local value, trust your home to the place where you are always Priority One.
Hey, it's Marion over at Land Rover of Des Moines. With all those summer miles and any last-minute road trips you have before school starts, come on down and get an alignment for $179.95 and $25 off an oil change. Give us a call or schedule online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
Rush, strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on a Labor Day. I know most of you aren't working today, but you're still taking the time to tune in. We appreciate that. I always like asking people to work on Labor Day when they don't have to. I asked Ross, hey, we want to work Labor Day? Sure. I asked Brian Hardin over at Drake, does he want to work Labor Day? He said, sure. Sure. Did we get you out of bed early? Was this like the one day you got to sleep in?
Yes, this is the one day I get to sleep in. Thank you. But for Rush Radio, I'll do it. Well, complete the story. You said, Brian, do you want to come on? And I said, what time are you thinking? And you're like 6, 7, or 7:30. Right away. Give me the 7:30.
So yeah, when you go to buy a car and you say, what are you thinking you want for it? And the guy says, I'll take $4,000 or $5,000. Go, I'll take $4,000. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
man.
No, I was my oldest is a freshman running cross country this fall, and they had 7:30 practice today, so I had to make sure that he was up and at him and on his way out the door. So yeah.
That's how you know. That's okay. First indication right there, Travis, that that Brian's son goes to a successful program, because at Des Moines Public Schools, you can't force kids to come to practice on Labor Day because they won't show up. You'll get 3 kids for practice.
I did tell me he had to get himself to there. So he did hop on his bike and he's riding there. So I'm like, I'm not going to drive you. You're in cross country, for crying out loud. Like, you can either run there or walk there or bike there. I don't care. But
now, are you like your counterpart up at Iowa State? You know, Jamie's kid was a big runner, and Jamie's a big runner. Are you a big runner?
Look at this body. Don't look up a big runner. Come on, man. No. At one time in my life, I was. I ran all the way through college, but I was a sprinter. Jamie's a distance guy, and so this cross country thing. It's like I would always tell like my friends who were on the track, like when they would do like a 10,000 meter run, that's like 25 laps on a track, and I would tell them, like, you realize that you're running more in this one race than I will in the entire season combined. It's like I was a 200, 400 guy. So it's like, I saw everything the first time around. I didn't need a second lap or a third lap to see the scenery.
First time around.
One time was good enough for me. Great. I did it. Where are my sweats? You can find me on the bus.
Oh, Brian Hardin joining us last week. Was it last week you launched this? You've got a $6 million campaign to help renovate parts of Drake Stadium. Man, we're talking new lighting. We're talking new track surface. We're talking new playing surface. It's the 100 years of Drake Stadium, to preserve it for another 100 years. I got news for you. It's going to cost you more than $6 million to preserve it for another 100 years. But this is a good start. And why now? And I know you got some money from Prairie Meadows as well.
Yeah. So every 10 years, we have to replace the field that the football team plays on, and the track that it runs, because it's just normal life cycle of those two surfaces need to be replaced. And I think as we kind of went into this, knowing that this was the 100th anniversary of Drake Stadium, okay, what more do we need to do? And really come back to Drake Stadium has hosted a lot of really significant events in track and field history. And we haven't had those around in a minute or two. I mean, it's been a bit since we hosted NCAA championships and since we hosted USA track and field outdoor championships. Like, we need to put ourselves back onto that map so we can drive more people back into Des Moines, fill the hotel rooms, fill the restaurants, get people back to, this part of the country, because for a long time, all those meets have been going out to Oregon or going to other spots. We got to find some way to get our facility back up to the level that it once was. And so we thought this was a really neat opportunity that we rolled out on Thursday with the start of the new football season. And obviously Joe Woodley's team did an awesome job kicking off the Centennial campaign here. But that was why the timing for it, and that's why some of the elements that we've put into this initial piece here will at least give us the chance to bid, because right now we couldn't even really submit a legitimate bid to host some of these national events in Des Moines anymore.
Just because of the current condition of the track, quality of the track, what was it that was holding you up right now?
Yeah, the stadium itself is great. The capacity is perfect. The hotels is wonderful. It's centrally located, which people really like. There are certain elements that are now expected in these major events, such as we have to have multiple wind reversible long jumps and triple jump runways. We need to be able to add in another runway for. What's that?
Slow down there for me, Brian. When you say wind reversible, so basically kind of like multiple runways on an airport type of thing?
Yeah, so we need to so the way it is right now, you want to have 2 runways so you can run long jump, triple jump, or men and women simultaneously, but you also need to be able to make sure that you can go in different directions, because they now have an expectation that they're always competing with the wind at their back, or some type of a crosswind. And so, the way that the runways we have right now are limited to, going only a certain direction, and we'll only have a couple of them. We need to add 2 more and make sure that we've got enough that we can offer something so that no matter what the weather conditions are, we can still compete to the schedule that the organizers had in mind.
Okay, so it makes sense, actually.
Yeah, so that's something that we can't even submit for a bid until we kind of get this. If we put in a bid right now, they'll just dismiss us right away, because we don't have what Texas A&M put into their facility, or what at one time Sacramento State put into theirs, or North Florida, or some other areas that are winning some of these events. Certainly Oregon's in a class of their own, but they can't and don't want to host every single year. So how do we jump in here and start getting some of the events to come back to the Heartland?
And I just have to assume then, Brian, some of this footprint then exists outside of what we consider to be Drake Stadium. Maybe to the north side. I mean, if you're going to have multiple runways, those can't go across the field, obviously.
There's actually space in there, so we can preserve the football field. We may end up losing parts of where the soccer field exists, but with MediaCom Stadium, there isn't a need for us to utilize that for soccer very much anymore. And so we will certainly preserve the football field, because that is the home of our Drake football team and has been for 100 years. I was just reading an article earlier about our first couple games there in 1910 were against Kansas State and Nebraska, and we beat them both. Just think about that in terms of where Drake football was at one point, where Kansas State and Nebraska were at one point. Some would say they're still there, but that's a whole another argument, another story to talk about. But yeah, so there's space that we can add those in there without encroaching on the football field at all.
And you got press box renovations too. Is that another thing the NCAA is looking at? Is okay, not only just for it's called a press box, but it's used for so much more than that. Is that the NCAA saying? And do you go to the NCAA and say, consult with us? Tell us what we need to do to be able to bring an event like this to town.
Yeah, Blake Bolden has a great relationship with the NCAA, and has served as the outgoing chair of the track and field committee. So he is really wired into all the folks in Indianapolis to know exactly what it is that we're looking like. Yeah, the thought around something press box and then a separate hospitality area is just probably an acknowledgement of the times that we're in. I just say we need to update that. You're right, Travis. I mean, the term press box is a bit outdated, because the working media that work the games really at all the sports has decreased over time. The utility that space, that piece of real estate provides is much different now than what it was when they were initially created. So it's probably more of just adjusting with the times and trying to figure out, okay, how do we get it so that the experiences we're providing for anybody who's going to be up inside that enclosed structure, it's going to meet what their expectations may be.
Crazy thing is you want $6 million. I remember when they built the Knapp Center. I think they built that for like $5.2 million back in the early 90s. Just how much stuff has changed.
There's an amazing article website that we'll probably put up here at some point. I was reading that Drake Stadium and the Field House were built. There was a $225,000 loan loans were taken out through the Greater Des Moines Corporation, and then Drake had to raise $50,000 cash to keep the project going. And that's what was done. And they actually started the project following Drake relays at the end of April of 1925, worked around the clock for 6 months, and opened the stadium in October of 1925. And the contractor, the person who led that project was Fred White's, who anyone who does business in Des Moines will be familiar with White's group there. And so, but yeah, basically $275,000 built a 20,000 seat stadium and a field house that was home to Drake's basketball teams for so many years.
Think for a minute about all that brickwork.
Oh my God.
How'd they even do that? 6 months.
Which the tuck pointing continues to this day. I mean, there's annual tuck pointing that happens at Drake Stadium.
So do you have to? No, Prairie Meadows is giving you what, $600,000?
Yeah.
Because you're going to bring so much, or the potential for so much revenue from a hotel standpoint. Is there a tax increment financing? Is Catch Des Moines involved? Does Des Moines want to get involved? I mean, how else? Or do you have to go out and raise $5.4 million?
Yes to everything. Yes, we have to go out and raise that. Yes, I really hope that the city of Des Moines will get involved. Folks in central Iowa will get involved, because the reality is that this isn't for the Drake relays, and this isn't for the Iowa High School State Track and Field Meet, which is the largest and best state track meet in the country. And it's not necessarily for, not solely for our Drake football team. Those events are still going to happen inside that stadium now. But it's the additional pieces that will come in that will make such a big difference in this area. Just like the value of those events that come in, it's millions of dollars that would come into Des Moines that otherwise wouldn't be here. So that type of investment of $6 million or 5.4 that is left, and Prairie Meadows gets it. That's why Prairie Meadows jumped in with their $600,000 gift. They understand the impact that Drake Stadium has on the Des Moines area. And so I'm hopeful that others will see that and jump on board as well, because the number of visitors, the dollars that would come into our community, because we can enhance the stadium and get it to where it needs to be, that will only happen with community support. That this is a community jewel that we all need to treasure and really appreciate. So that's why I'm hopeful that others in Central Iowa will jump on board and be partners with us on this.
I always think it's neat when you're walking along Forest there, Travis, on the south side of the stadium, and you can see the old archways that are still built into the brick. And I love imagining what that was like 100 years ago, or in the 20s or 30s, when people were walking by there and you could look in and see the games. And it's a really cool stadium. And you get inside there and look around a little bit. There's a lot of history and some neat stuff. So the preservation of it is very cool.
Yeah.
Brian, you seem like a bit of a historian. How many? I know there's a lot of old stadiums, but I think of like the Yale Bowl and stuff like that. How many stadiums are out there right now older than 100 years?
Oh man, that's a great question. Yeah, I don't know what that would actually be, but that's a great project for us to put some folks on to try to figure out, because to both of your points, there's not that many out there, and so the preservation of an amazing facility, what we have here in Des Moines, really we need to appreciate and take full advantage of, because that the character and the charm, and just being able to kind of walk through and just see and know all the legendary people who have passed through there at some point in time as athletes is just incredible. And so now it's like, okay, we've got this opportunity here to kind of prepare Drake Stadium for the next 100 years. And how do we go about doing that the right way?
We thought you were going to show up this morning with a sign that says Venmo me.
That's a little QR code on here, and just
right on the hat, hat.
Hold it to the screen. That's right. Yeah,
have your Venmo QR code ready to go. Here you go, guys. Help out.
Okay, if you swing by, 27th and Forest later today, I've got a car wash going on, so I'll be out there, swimsuit and everything, getting ready to go, and I got a bake sale planned for next weekend here. So you want some apple pie or something?
See, hold on. You know, we laugh at that, but that would be kind of neat to do in a throwback to the 20s and 30s, an old school fundraiser, knowing you're not going to get that much, but to bring people to the stadium and show them the vision and have a bake sale or a car wash. I actually like the idea.
Brian has a great idea.
Do we need to charge 1920s and 30s prices as well?
No.
We're trying to make money here. Trying to renovate a stadium. Can't have any lost here.
I saw that in the first season, Drake had 3 home games in their first season. They hosted Kansas State, Nebraska, and Ames, which, of course, later became Iowa State. And season tickets, you could get season tickets to those games for $6. So maybe we should not revert all pricing back to 1925 pricing.
I think
Brian,
you have a free game for football just to get people to come out and watch that team and generate interest.
Oh man, the crowd on Thursday was unbelievable. I mean, I left. We had a tailgate. Our president threw a tailgate on Thursday, which was awesome. And then I'm walking to the gate, and Forest Avenue. I mean, we had a line from the gate there at Drake Stadium all the way up to 27th Street, where the field house is. And that was on us. Like we knew, just based off of tickets that were out, that we did not do a good job of managing that. We needed to open another gate. We needed to have additional ticket takers there, or ticket scanners. No one takes tickets anymore. You scan tickets. And so but then to look and see the community show up, I mean, that was a really cool experience and really good for Joe and the guys to be able to come out for their first game there. Yeah. And they played so well in front of a big crowd. A lot of students, a lot of folks from the community showed up. I imagine there were some folks who have some connection to Grandview who came over, some folks who have known the Woodley family for years, and other alumni who were just kind of intrigued by what this is going to be about. And that was a really special way to kind of kick off our 100th year at Drake Stadium.
I bet Joe had some of his college teammates there too, because they were all in town for the celebration up at
I saw a few of them around there. They got the weekend started on Thursday night. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Did you see what happened with the Red Sox, Trav, over the weekend?
No.
Brian, did you guys? I'm assuming in your event. Okay, this is a nightmare scenario. You talked about your ticket scanners. Their app for their tickets crashed. People with tickets had to go and print off their tickets and then present it, and it was a disaster. It was an absolute nightmare for the Red Sox this weekend. So it's something that I think a lot of event people, somebody in your world is going to come to and say, hey, we need to make sure that we have a contingency plan for these things in place. I want to go back to one of the very first things we talked about, though, Brian. That's the field. You talked about that the field has to be replaced every 10 years. Yeah. Can we talk about what that is for a minute, and kind of the field turf against regular grass, and kind of the cost analysis that happens there? Because, man, when you talk about $1 million field, you go, oh, that's going to last a long time. You go, nope, 10 years. You're going to be replacing that $1 million surface. But there is a true benefit to doing this.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the benefit is just understanding kind of where we're located, and we don't at Drake, we don't have the ability to we don't have staffing to have a terrific grass field like what you see up at Iowa State. I mean, Iowa State's got a whole department and division, and they should, based on some of the strongest majors that they offer in the ag area, they should be able to figure out what to do with the grass. It's tougher to grow grass this part of the country. It gets utilized a lot. And actually, I think studies have shown that over time, the turf is actually, it's cheaper to maintain. It's more affordable. I think our coaches like the predictable footing that they're going to see. We can clear it in the wintertime, and we can utilize that as another surface to be able for athletes to get out on. We have other teams that can get out there. So you'll see our golf team out there. They'll take mats down and chip off there and do some different things. Softball will get out and do something. So there's a variety of uses that there's a reason why you see a lot of folks from youth sports all the way up through college sports, have made that conversion over to the synthetic surface.
So will you do the renovations regardless? I mean, meaning, if you got to borrow against it till the $6 million is raised, when will people start seeing these changes being made?
Summer of 27 is what we have tentatively put on the schedule for when we would replace the track and the field. We can't do it sooner because we need to do it in the summertime. It takes months for us to do those projects. You want to do the field and the track simultaneously because you don't want to do one or the other because you want to basically just tear up the whole area and put stuff down. And next summer, we've already committed to hosting the AAU Junior Olympics. So we're going to have 10,000 folks, competitors and their families coming to Des Moines to run on this track to really kind of tear up the track one last time, if you will, before we will kind of peel it off and put everything new down. So summer of 27 is what we tentatively kind of blocked off. We're not going to host any events in the stadium. So as soon as high school track ends in summer in the, middle of late May of 2027, we'll then start getting everything done so that it is put in place for the start of football season in August of that year.
Excellent stuff. Brian, we appreciate you taking the time, getting up for us. So Ross has got one more. Okay.
Well, I'm not sure if you just forgot earlier, Travis, when you mentioned, you're like, Brian, were you much of a track guy? Brian was a 4-year track letter winner at Marquette and a team. He wasn't just like, oh, I was on the team. I mean, I ran a little bit. I ran a little bit. Dude could run.
All right. It was Marquette. I was a sprinter at a school that didn't even have an indoor track in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I mean,
listen to it. Play it now. Listen. I understand I'm a D1 athlete, but let's temper it.
No, I got to tell folks, I was D1 athlete only by label. I ran and turned left. There was very little athleticism in this body. So,
me right now.
And being a captain, you were the most likable guy.
I knew how to stuff the ballot box at an early age, and so I could get out there and grease folks. I knew it looked good on a resume years down the road.
This guy does politics well, man. Brian, love you, buddy. Thank you so much for getting up with us today.
Happy Labor Day, boys.
All right, we'll see you later. Brian Hardin joining us on the Rush Radio Show. Good stuff. Give him money. Help them because it does bring a lot of things to Des Moines, and if they could get the NCAA championships, that would be a huge, huge deal.
Oh, dude. I'm first of all, thanks for having him on. I'm glad he came on and answered those questions. Dudes, those are things I hadn't thought about, that they can't even apply for an NCAA thing right now. They'd get rejected immediately.
Yeah.
Because of runways for long jump. Hey, I got a birthday girl coming up.
Oh, is it her birthday today?
Tomorrow. But we're gonna have a fun day today. Presents are right there. Yeah, her presents are right here, right behind you.
Are you gonna let her open them today?
No, it's not her birthday.
Okay, some people cave, and you seem like the caving type. Just saying.
If she asks me tonight, possibly. But
only Ross.
How much I love this little thing.
I know. I remember going the morning she was born. I came up to do sound, and you actually did sound off on the day she was born. Stopped at the hospital.
What am I going to do?
Yeah,
there's professionals that are trained that are taking care of the baby that first day.
Yeah, the first couple days are easy, right?
You're paying for that. You're paying for that coverage. You might as well enjoy the babysitter.
100%. I mentioned Taylor Swift earlier, and the only reason I mentioned her, Ross, is did you see what happened in Nebraska? I posted this on my Twitter page and my Facebook page. And Swifties are mean people. Swifties are just, they're ruthless. So you know how people have fun with photos and stuff like that. So after Nebraska beat Cincinnati and Kansas City, they changed the Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift engagement photo to be Herbie Husker, right? And it was funny. It was just her embracing Herbie Husker like she's giving him a kiss. Swifties went crazy. Nebraska took it down, offered an apology, said, we're sorry that you were offended by this. And I'm like, oh my. So it's not really Taylor Swift that had the issue. It was all her fan base that just went nuts because they ruined a good moment. I'm like, why can't people just look at something, laugh, and move on when it comes to scrolling on social media?
I have nothing to add.
I know. Somebody added one to me over the weekend. They had her embracing Herky after the Iowa win. They said, "Well, let's take it up a notch," and I laughed at it because I laugh at weird things. All right, she's got a birthday tomorrow. What are the plans? What are you doing today?
Today we actually have another friend's birthday party today at Adventureland. So Audrey and I are going to go hit her favorite breakfast spot this morning.
That's
Mullets. So we'll hit her favorite spot this morning, and then head to Adventureland. She's going to spend the night with her mom tonight, and then we'll wake up tomorrow and have a fun day. She's not going to go to school tomorrow, so I'm giving her 2 days off back to back.
Wow, look at you! You know what? I'm glad you do that. We did that for our kids. We said, "Hey, we're going to give you a 1 day a semester. If you don't want to go, you don't have to go." And they never really abused it. They never, I'm sick. They're like, "Hey, I think I'm going to take my day today." All right, what do you want to do? Right? I mean,
we're going to have a fun day and go. She's already got lunch and dinner planned for Tuesday. We're going to have a little get together with family on Tuesday night. So exciting times here around the house. Ninth birthday.
I had a 12-hour drive yesterday. I have an 8.5-hour drive today. 8.5 hours. So over 20 hours in the car over 2 days.
And then you're going to turn around and do it again later this week.
Yeah.
Next
week. Yeah. Because Anjanette's like, "Oh, do we want to get home on Sunday?" I said, "I got to be home for Saturday. We got the Black and Gold Rush." I said, "The Black and Gold Rush, I got to be in the Iowa Lottery studios for that." This is hard enough for me. You know me. It's like, I don't like things to change that much.
Fun day. Glad we did
It was.
this. Thanks for waking up with us.
Thanks for taking the time to join us on your Labor Day. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., working on an interview. I'm not going to give it away, but just because if it doesn't come through, I'll be disappointed. But an interesting story out of Des Moines that is crazy and good. Crazy good. Big leap of faith, but crazy good. So keep your eye out for that. Tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., it is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
It's Body Armor. Real hydration with electrolytes. No artificial dyes and coconut water. Choose better. Body Armor.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
After Hawkeye football games this fall, Travis and Ross are right where they belong, with you taking your calls and giving unfiltered feedback. Right after Hawkeye football games, it's the Black and Gold Rush on the rushradio.com, the TuneIn app, and on YouTube.
Hi, I'm Sean McFarland, Service Manager here at Mini of Des Moines. It's August, and while most of Iowa has shifted their attention to corn dogs and butter cows, us here at Mini of Des Moines are still focused on making sure your Mini is running properly and well maintained. Please give us a call or schedule your appointment online at miniofdesmoines.com.
Bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.